Thank you for participating today. We are now joined by Kofi Cockburn and will begin the press conference. Use the raised hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you are called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation first. Thank you, Kofi, for your time.
Thank you.
We'll now go to Scott Ritchie from Champaign.
Hey, Kofi. I guess, what was this whole experience like? First NCAA tournament game for any of you guys.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you. I'll get somebody to moderate it. I'm not hearing you. Hey, I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you. Just turn it up.
Okay.
I'm not hearing you.
We're unable to hear Scott. Or moderator, can you hear me, moderator?
Yes, I can hear you.
We can't hear Scott. I don't know if he's muted or not, but we can only hear you right now on the speaker.
Sure.
Scott, can you ask your question again?
Kofi, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes,
I can hear you.
yeah, now we can.
Okay. What was this whole experience like for you guys? I mean, first NCAA tournament for anybody on the team. Just what were the feelings, emotions of all of that?
Yeah, it was a really good experience, especially for me. I never been here before, so just being out there with the guys. We worked hard to come to this moment, and we went out there. Obviously, we got the win, but it was just about enjoying the moment. Enjoy being there, enjoy playing together, and achieving a common goal. So it was a really good experience for me and everybody else.
Our next question will be from Gabby Hajduk from the Daily Illini.
Hi, Kofi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. It seems like it took the offense a little bit of time to get going. Was that attributed to just like first game nerves, or what do you think was going on early in the game?
I don't think we were nervous. I think we have a lot of alphas and dudes that they're confident. They know what they're doing. I just think that Loyola they came out and they basically knew what they were doing. I think they paid really good attention in their scout, and they knew most of what we were doing, and they had a really good plan defensively. So we just had to adjust, and make sure that we execute our offense properly and thoroughly. So I don't think we were nervous. I just think Loyola did a really good job with just preparing for us, and we just had to adjust to it.
We'll remind everybody to please check your settings to be sure you're identified by name and affiliation, so we can call on you with your proper identification. Next, we'll go to David Woods from the Indianapolis Star.
Yes, Kofi, you guys had a long, tough siege toward the end of the season. How are you influenced by the rest you had leading up to this week, and how do you balance getting enough rest but also staying sharp?
Firstly, like Big Ten teams, they're all really good teams, so I feel like that was a really good challenge for us, coming into the NCAA tournament. We played a lot of high caliber teams with really good players, and that was basically a test for us, preparing us for the NCAA tournament. So, we took it head on. We went out there, we did what we had to do, win the Big Ten national championship, and we just used that as a preparation to come out here and compete on the NCAA platform. Repeat your second question for me, please.
Next question from Scott Ritchie from Champaign.
Hey, Kofi, you mentioned how Drexel had a good game plan defensively early. Just how much did maybe your guys' defense maybe not let them get much confidence, just kind of keep things even, at least in the beginning of the game?
Yeah, I definitely credit our defense. Coach emphasizes how much defense is important, and how championships are won by playing defense. So I think we did a really good job with knowing the personnel, executing the defensive plans, whether it was like sending them a certain way, rebounding the basketball, boxing out certain players. So I think we did a really good job with keeping that. So even if offense doesn't work for us for a couple minutes that it didn't, we still kept ourselves in the game because of our defense. And it's all credit to the coaches for preparing us for it.
Our next question is from Shannon Ryan from the Chicago Tribune.
Okay, thanks. Hi, Kofi. I think everybody knew, you guys were expecting knowing there's a limited crowd available here, but you have seen past NCAA tournaments and there's all the pomp and circumstance and excitement. Did it feel a little weird to be in an NCAA tournament game, but it being kind of quiet and a different atmosphere than, what it would normally be like?
Not really. I think that we were cool either way. I feel like we've seen all the different environments that we could see. With just being here last year, most of the players being here last year, and just knowing what it feels like to play in front of a really big crowd. This whole year we haven't been able to play in front of anybody, so we know how that feels. And this is basically a little bit like the Big Ten tournament and what we played a week ago. So we had seen all the different environments, and I feel like the bench does a really good job of connecting with us and making sure that they give us energy. So it doesn't really matter what environment we're in. We're used to all of it.
Reminder to all participants, if you want to ask a question, please check your settings to make sure you're identified by name and affiliation. Scott from the Champaign News-Gazette, do you have another question?
Yeah, Kofi, in the Big Ten Tournament Championship game, you guys had 6 players in double figures tonight. Or today it was 4 in double figures, 2 more with 8. Is this team trending maybe more towards that balance at this time of the year?
Not really trending. I feel like we have really unselfish players on the team, and we elevate each other. We do a really good job of doing that. It's just about playing the game, and like I said it a lot of times. We have really good players and we have winners on my team. So if the guys see somewhere on the court, that's how we winning. They're gonna keep doing it. They're gonna keep going to it. And same thing with the coaches. If they see a certain play working, they're gonna keep going to that player or keep going to that guy. So I feel like the balance is just about us being selfish and just trusting each other and elevating each other. That's how we get that balance. Guys motivating, passing the ball, extras. That's how we get that balance. But it's not necessarily a thing that we work towards. We work towards winning ultimately. So however we can win, that's what we do.
Next question is from Derek Piper from the Illini Inquirer.
Hey, Kofi, their point guard, Cameron Winter's a big key to their offense. It seemed like the bigs did a good job of showing help when he got deep on his drives, and then Trent obviously did a great job with hounding him as well. How'd you guys kind of work in tandem to slow him down?
Coach emphasized that we needed a lot more help from the bigs, with the ball screens, all those actions. So it's just about making sure that he doesn't beat us. He's a really good player, really talented scorer. It's just about putting a hand in front of him, making all of his shots tough, and just making sure that we finish the shot with a defensive rebound. So it's just about making sure that he sees a hand in front of him, give Trent the chance to come around, to match up with him back, and not leaving him basically a wide open lane to go drive the ball or shoot the mid range, which he's good at.
Thank you, Kofi, for your time. Best of luck in the next round.
Thank you.
We'll be joined momentarily by Coach Brad Underwood. Please use this time to raise or lower your hand as necessary. And we'll remind you once again to please make sure you're identified by name and affiliation. We'll now begin with an opening statement from Coach Underwood and then go to questions. Use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you are called on, please state your name and affiliation first. Coach, please give us a brief opening statement and then we'll go to questions.
Yeah, I thought it was a very matter-of-fact game. Congratulations to Drexel. Great season. They're really hard to guard. And I thought our guys' focus on that end of the court was very, very good. I thought we did a great job on Winter, taking him out of his comfort zone. Trent Frazier has a tendency to do that to people. And then we got out in transition there in the first half. I thought we played with a little bit of a nervous energy early and just kind of rushed a little bit on the offensive end, and then we got going in transition and broke the game open. But they stayed in it in the first half, and with offensive rebounding. The Butler kid had 4 offensive rebounds. But then we started settling in and limiting them to 1 shot and got out running, and that was something that I felt we could exploit in this game. So overall, loved our balance. Mayo 17-11 and 6 assists, and had 4 guys in double, and a couple guys were very, very close. So loving the balance we're playing with right now.
Now we'll go to questions from the media. Use the raise hand function to indicate you want to ask a question. Our first question will be from Shannon Ryan at the Chicago Tribune.
All right. Hi, Brad. Thanks. What does it mean just to, you guys are back in the tournament for the first time since 2013, and you were expected to win, but to start it off with a win, to be here and kind of get that monkey off the back?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think that's one of the things we've been striving for all year. This was a goal. I think it's really important that people understand. That the Kipper-Nichols, Andres Feliz, they didn't get to play in this game last year, and they were a big part of it, of our rebuild. And for our guys, every kid dreams about playing in the NCAA tournament. They do that since they're 5 years old, and so when these guys stepped out here. Sure, there was a little anxiety, a little nervousness, and it's nice to get back to where I think we belong, and that's in the NCAA tournament. And we did that in a very matter-of-fact way today.
Our next question is from Scott Ritchie from the Champaign News-Gazette.
Brad, I think at the last media time out of the first half, you guys went on a run in the first half, and then we didn't lose that momentum after halftime. How important was that to keep building maybe on what you had started to get going there?
Well, it's one of the things we talked about at halftime was, we ended it very well, and then we had to, keep the pedal down. And this is a team that really gets going from 3. They're an excellent 3-point shooting team. We couldn't make mistakes, and we felt like if we took the 3 away from them, we could make it very difficult. But we come out right away. We get a steal and an easy basket, and we're off and running. So it was very important those first 4 minutes.
Reminder to media to check your settings to be sure you're identified by name and affiliation so we can call on you. Next question is from Derek Piper from the Illini Inquirer.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned Winter and his importance to their offense. Seemed like you had your big show help when he got deep, and then obviously Trent on the perimeter doing a good job. How did they work in tandem to really bottle him up?
Yeah, and Trent gets a lot of the credit because he's very, very difficult to screen, but it's equally, Kofi and Georgie doing their job in terms of having very, very early presence and an effective one. And Kofi's an imposing figure when he's got his hands out and he's big, and he can deter people from turning that corner. And that's all Trent needs, is just a split second to get back in front. So I thought we did a great job. They ended up taking him off the ball a lot, which I had not seen, and playing Bell primarily on the ball. So, again, it was something that we felt like we had to, cut the head of the snake off to be really good today, and Trent did that.
Our next question from Gabby Hatchtuck from the Daily Illini.
Hi, Brad. It seems like obviously Io and Kofi having a big game, but also the role players being able to step up again, like Jake and DeMonte. How important is it to have them on both ends of the ball down the stretch?
Yeah, I think, you've got to pick your poison with us. You can't just load up on Io. You can't just load up on Kofi and say we're going to, double team him or we're going to do this. And those guys are very, very capable scorers. And DeMonte's one of the leading 3-point shooters in America. And And Jake's such an explosive offensive player in his own right. And then you throw Adam and Trent, and all of a sudden it becomes a pretty balanced attack, and that's what we like to see.
Our next question is from Anthony Pasquale from the Champagne Room. Sorry about that. Our next question will be from Shannon Ryan from the Chicago Tribune.
You've mentioned a couple of times the phrase matter of a fact of the way you guys won today and the team, and I'm just wondering if you could describe, is that kind of, it seems like they've been this way, but just the mindset of the team right now and everybody kind of knowing their jobs and how important that is?
Yeah, Shannon, I think the one thing that we've talked about in the last few days is you can't get to 2 without 1 in terms of victories, and if you're not dialed in and you're not on point with your execution, with your game plan, you go home. And we've had that mindset here in the last 3 weeks to a month, and it's been good for us, and it has to continue. They only get harder from here.
Next question from Brett Beherns, WCIA.
Brad, how well do you feel like your team is equipped to play again in 48 hours here, regardless of who you play with the schedule you played this season? How much does that allow you to have success?
Yeah, I think we've definitely been tested that way. There's no doubt. I think the last 2.5, 3 weeks of the season, seemed like every other day. Rapid fire games. Obviously, just 3 games in 3 days in the Big Ten tournament. The thing that you have to handle in those moments is the mental part of it, and you got to switch gears really quick. And we've been pretty solid with that.
Shannon Ryan, Chicago Tribune. Do you have another question?
Yeah, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was muted. Yeah, I mean, you've been in a lot of NCAA tournaments. For me, this is probably, the atmosphere was one of the stranger ones, just because it didn't feel like an NCAA tournament to me. I was just wondering, what you observed, or did it feel, I know you guys are happy there is a tournament, but did it feel a little odd?
Yeah, I think that you're used to running out and for the most part, packed houses, and obviously that's different. I think we're grateful the fact that there are fans here. We had a lot of them here today, but it's a little different feel once the ball's thrown up. The game's the game, and it is different that way. But Shannon, I'm just ecstatic that we're playing. Our players are ecstatic we're playing. There's going to be a champion. Dan Gavitt and his crew deserve. This thing's been incredible to this point, and they deserve a tremendous amount of applause, in my opinion, for the job they've done.
Next question from Scott Ritchie, Champaign News-Gazette.
Brad, you mentioned in your opening statement just the offensive balance you had, and you had that against Ohio State last Sunday as well. Just have you seen any change where maybe the ball is moving to everybody at this stage of the season?
Yeah, we're sharing it. I think we've gotten much better in our ball screen reads. I think we've gotten we've been dialed in terms of what the opponent is trying to do against us, what they're trying to take away. We know where those looks are, and then guys are showing the ability to make those right plays and right reads. And when you do that and you share the ball, the game on the offensive side becomes fun, and there's a reason you can shoot, what we shoot 57, 58% today. So, it's fun to see.
Next question from Derek Piper from the Illini Inquirer.
Hey, Coach, how odd is it with the rotating venues, not knowing where you're going to play on Sunday or what time, and do you have any idea when you'll find that out?
No idea when we'll find out. That doesn't matter. We'll go play at the park, and as long as we're playing for something, and this is the NCAA tournament, we're going to show up. But doesn't matter. We knew this was coming. We've been prepared for this.
Coach, thanks for your time. We'll see you in the next round.
Thank you.
That's it for this post-game news conference. A transcript of the coach's interview will be provided by ASAP Sports and posted along with a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Thank you for joining us.
All right, guys, let's get started. First off, credit to Illinois. As we knew watching film going into it, I thought it was a very explosive team offensively. And defensively, they force you into take some tough shots. They don't give you many clean looks from three. They're able with their size to protect the rim, so you get stuck in some mid-range shots. I thought the quality of our shots were not as good as they had been throughout the season. And the credit goes to Illinois for doing that. Got a locker room, handful of guys there that are graduating. We've also got a lot of guys that are returning, and I hope that for Drexel and for our players that are coming back, this is an understanding, a game where we can learn from this and do whatever we can to get back. I don't think we played our best basketball today. I think that's most disappointing. I thought it's a credit to Illinois, though. They forced us to do that.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now go to questions from the media. First up, we have Hank Kurtz from the AP. Hank, please unmute yourself.
Thank you. Hank Kurtz with the AP here. Coach, obviously it's a tall task to deal with a first-team All-American when you deal with a first and a second team. And the second team guy looked like a man-child out there, and the first team guy filled up the stat sheet. What kind of challenge is that going to present? Did it present for you guys, and will it present for everybody else?
Well, I think physicality, certainly with Cockburn, that's an obvious with his size. He's a very big basketball player who plays angles very well. It's not just his size, it's his ability to score in different ways. I think the coaching staff has done a good job putting him in positions to be successful, and he's taken advantage of those. And then certainly you talk about their level of transition efficiency certainly starts with Io. And, you see him up close, you see him on film, and you're very concerned on film. And when you see him up close, you certainly understand why. But listen, I haven't watched film on other teams. I can't tell you about other seeds or things, but it's a very, very strong basketball team that I think could make a deep run and certainly play into the final weekend of this tournament, in my opinion.
Our next question goes to DeMichael Cole, Philadelphia Inquirer.
Zach, what did you tell your guys after the game today?
Well, I just talked about our guys that won't have the opportunity to play college basketball again. And Zach Walton, Tadas Karinas, Julian Adams, and our manager, Jalen Hayes, has really been a solid group for us. And then Anto Kashkigan, a grad transfer this year, hopped in with our team. Just appreciated them. And for everybody else, I hope this is motivation to find a way to get back and have a better experience in the tournament.
Next question will go to Rob McCauley.
Hi, Zach. I hope you can hear me. Would you talk about what you saw from Andre Curbelo today and compare that to what he was like in high school?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's much different. Obviously, he's benefiting from, a tremendous strength conditioning program that Illinois has, as opposed to something that's going on in high school right now, any high school for that matter. But his craftiness and his ability to make plays with the basketball are the same thing that we saw in high school, recruiting other guys on his team. Seen him play. He's got a tremendous feel for the game. He takes what the defense will give him. And despite not being a big perimeter threat, he still finds ways to impact the game with his creativity, with the angles he creates in passing, and had a couple incredible passes today. So he's a really talented player, and a little bit of an X factor as their team has kind of morphed into more of a guard-oriented 4-round-1. He's a player that can really cause some issues in the tournament.
Next question goes to Austin from Trenton to Philly.
Hey, Zach. Going forward, I know this game just ended, but as you look at the season and you look back and you see the growth of the young guys, the freshmen, the sophomores, how do you feel about this program heading in the next season?
Certainly, what are we, 6 minutes removed from the game? It's tough to totally turn the page right now, but I think when we get to that point, Austin, I think we'll be excited for what this group has accomplished. None of these guys were born the last time Drexel went to the NCAA tournament. And when that happened in '96, they won a game. And I know that was something that, we were hopeful we could find a way to do that. Certainly it was a tall task. It's a big challenge, but it was an opportunity we were excited about. Didn't work in our favor, Austin, but I hope that, as I've said before earlier here, I hope that this experience motivates our group to continue to work, put the work in the weight room, put the work in the individual workouts in the off season, in the summertime, and come back focused on accomplishing a mission next year.
Next question goes to David Melandra.
Hey, Coach, what is one thing in particular you can take away from this season that you can build on for next year?
Dave, I think the biggest thing is we went to the NCAA tournament at Drexel University for the first time in 25 years, and it was a heck of a run by our players and the effort that they gave in the CAA tournament, the effort they gave in the final regular season game against James Madison to put us in a position to be a 6th seed. That was an incredible time for our players and their preparation and their execution. We'll look very fondly back, look back on those days very fondly on what we were able to accomplish. And certainly hopeful, had a good week here, great experience. Certainly didn't expect this type of result. They're really good, but I think if you walk around and say they're good, you don't give yourself a chance. And we just wanted to fight and put ourselves in position. I think one of the misleading stats from today, guys, just to turn the page, Dave, but 11 turnovers, but I think the quality of our shot was not as good as it has been in other games. I thought we've got some really clean looks from 3. I thought we had some early in the first half, but I don't think, our mid-range, our guys that can hit mid-range shots didn't make them, and that just made things a little bit tougher for us. I thought Xavier Bell did a good job getting to the rim. It was very clear Cam Winter was a focus of their efforts defensively, and they made him work. And, he's had better games, and he will continue to have better games for us. But credit goes to Illinois.
Next question goes to DeMichael Cole, Philadelphia Inquirer.
Hey, Zach, it looked before the game, some of the players kneeled before or during the national anthem. Just what went into that decision, and was it a team decision, or was it something you were aware of before it happened?
Yeah, you know what? I think we've got a locker room where we're pretty honest and open and upfront about things, DeMichael, and I know you've covered us throughout the year. We did not do anything different today that we've done all season. So those are conversations and communication that we've had before the season started. And, you know, I'm proud of our guys and I support our guys in how they choose to express themselves. And they're in college. They've been through a lot. If we could just, all of us as people would take a minute and take a step back and think about what our players have experienced in the last year, emotionally, and the social injustice, the emotion of a very, very tense election, and then you mix in a pandemic. That's a lot. That's a lot for anybody to take in, especially a young person in the situation that our guys are in. And I've supported them throughout the entire season. Today was no different. There was nothing different for our program.
Next question is from Austin, Trenton to Philly.
Zach, looking at the numbers, Illinois seemed to get you pretty well down low in the paint, 58 points in the paint. Was that something that you kind of expected heading into this one?
We knew it was possible, Austin. Well, we weren't hoping for it. We knew it was possible. I think when you look at the size of Cockburn and Georgie also is not small, but they've got the ability to finish. A lot of that too. I thought their middle ball screen execution was very good. They got us on a couple UCLA actions in the second half. Everything, they do a nice job of disguising everything to look the same. And then I thought we had some transition buckets that really hurt us as well. So I knew that number was possible, Austin. Certainly was hoping it wasn't, but credit goes to them.
Next question from David Melandra.
Hey, Zach, a two-parter for you. One, with this year, the NCAA given that extra year of eligibility to those senior players, have you given a thought about which of your seniors could possibly come back? And secondly, what is your message to the fan base?
David, certainly when that announcement was made, we've had ongoing communication. There's no need for the end of the season to be some magical conversation. Guys know how they're feeling and what's going on. I think we've got a relationship with our players, from coaching staff to player, to say, hey, just want to know what you're thinking, what's going on. So, we're aware of where our seniors are and what's going on, and we'll continue to support them and help them as much as we absolutely can. But the second part to that question is, Drexel basketball has a tremendous fan base, and our student body, the DAC Pack, has been incredible for us. We cannot wait to get back into an arena with fans in it and celebrate our victories with them in person. And, members, people driving out to Indianapolis, I think all of our spouses' families drove out the 10 hours from Philadelphia to get here for the game. And you can just see a lot of people from all over. Drexel's a special place, and it's got a great fan base. And I hope everybody was able to enjoy this experience. As tough as the outcome was today, I hope they will enjoy the fact that we earned the right to be in the NCAA tournament and to represent the CAA.
Thank you, Coach, for your time today. We will be joined momentarily by James Butler. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Go Dragons.
Please use this time to raise or lower your hand as necessary if you have questions for player James Butler. We're now joined by James Butler. We'll begin the press conference. Please use the raise hand function if you'd like to ask a question. Our first question goes to DeMichael Cole, Philadelphia Inquirer.
James, what stands out to you most just about playing with this team this season?
It's been an amazing experience. We've been a really good, coherent team this year. We've played very well together, and things really clicked this year. And we're able to accomplish something that hasn't been done in 25 years and make it to the NCAA tournament. So it's been a great experience playing with this team, and I wouldn't have done it with any other guys.
Now we go to Austin from Trenton to Philly.
James, in the matchup with Cockburn, I mean, what was he kind of doing to get an advantage against you?
He's a big guy, very strong, very talented, very athletic, and he uses his size very well. He uses the defender's weight for his advantage, and he's able to spin quickly and make quick moves, and it's why he's one of the best bigs in the country.
David Melandra.
Hey James, what is one thing you can take away from this season, and with the NCAA announcing that the seniors can have that option to come back for next year, have you given it some thought?
Yeah, I think this year we can definitely take away that we have the talent, we have the capability to do it. It's just about us playing very clean basketball, more efficient basketball, playing as a team, and I'd like to see us back in the same situation next year.
Next question goes to DeMichael Cole.
James, yourself as a fourth-year junior, have you thought about, next season and potentially playing at Drexel, or just looking into other opportunities, or just what's next for yourself?
Yeah, I definitely want to see what this offseason brings, but I really think we have a great team, and it'd be pretty awesome to be able to come back to the NCAA tournament next year.
James, can you describe what this week has been like being inside the NCAA bubble?
Yeah, it's been pretty unique this year in general. We did something similar at Bubbleville up in Connecticut earlier in the season. And so, we're sort of used to it a little bit. And it's all about handling the adversity that COVID has brought upon this season. And so, you have to be efficient with your time. You have to rest as much as possible, handle the situation the best you can. And I think we did a pretty good job with that. So it's an extraordinary year, very different than any other year that I've seen. But it's just something you have to adapt and overcome.
Question goes to DeMichael.
Hey, James. When you think back to before the game, Zach talked a lot about you would have to take a bunch of jumpers in this game. Just how comfortable were you when you were at the top of the key, trying to distribute to your teammates or trying to figure out when to shoot and those type of things today?
I think as we've gone along, especially in the conference tournament, I've been hitting more perimeter shots. The mid-range shot has always been part of my game. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to hit more today. I shot a couple of three-pointers, missed them. But it's something that I'm comfortable with, and I'm definitely looking to expand my game and make myself more of an offensive threat.
David Melandra.
What is one thing you can take away from this whole experience taking part in the NCAA tournament?
Like I said, we've proven we can get here. We've proven we have the talent, the capability to do it. I think we just got to learn when we're going against bigger, tougher teams, we have to be incredibly efficient. We have to take care of the ball, be tight on defense, because it just takes a couple plays and, snowball effect. And once they get momentum, it's tough to come back.
James, thank you for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's it for today's postgame news conference. A transcript of the coach's interview will be provided by ASAP Sports and posted along with the recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Thank you for joining us.